Welcome back everybody to another one of Luna Reads, like creepypasta stuff, except this time it's just a scary story. Today, I'm going to be reading an urban legend. Yeah, you're wondering whether Bloody Mary is real or just an urban legend. Well, she's real, or at least she was. This is the real story of Bloody Mary. Okay, it's based on a true story. That's a really scary picture, by the way. According to the legend, you have to stand in the bathroom with one candle lit and say the name Bloody Mary into the mirror 3 times in a row. It is only the bravest of children who would attempt to do this, because the story says this will summon her ghost. If you see her ghostly face in the mirror, it could have one of the following terrible consequences. Your eyes being ripped out and your face horribly scarred. Or being found dead with claw marks all over your face and body. Or disappearing mysteriously from the bathroom and ending up trapped in the mirror with the ghost for eternity. You could also be driven insane or drop dead on the spot. Whoa. The history of the chanting game is based on mixed up legends and history that, over the years, have become the main basis for the story surrounding the urban legend. The most common story told is that Bloody Mary was a witch that lived over 100 years ago who dabbled in the black arts. She was found out and executed. Never dabble with the black arts. That's just bad. The second story is more modern. A local woman was involved in a fatal car accident, and her face was horribly scarred before she died. She reappears in the mirror when summoned with that same horrific face. There is another suggestion that the name Mary Worth was derived from a victim of the Salem witch trials. The fourth story is that Bloody Mary is based on a historical figure, Queen Mary I of England. Mary Tudor. It is largely believed that the origins of the names Mary Worth and Bloody Mary came from a slight mix-up of characters from history. Mary I, Queen of England, or Mary Tudor, who reigned during the Tudor period, was commonly known as Bloody Mary. She was a Catholic and earned the nickname Bloody Mary when she ordered the violent execution of numerous Protestants and burned countless people at the stake for heresy during her 5-year reign. She was also unable to have children and suffered 2 phantom pregnancies. This is why it is speculated that the variation involving chanting, "I stole your baby," became tangled up with the legend. Oh, that's just sad. Mary Worth. They say that Mary Worth was a witch who lived in Chicago around the time of the Civil War. She used to catch runaway slaves and keep them chained up in her barn. Then she would use them in her diabolical black magic rituals. Eventually, the locals took the law into their own hands and burned Mary Worth at the stake. Her charred remains were supposedly buried at St. Patrick's Cemetery. Mary Worthington. They say that in 1960s, there was a beautiful girl named Mary Worthington who was very vain. She loved to look at her reflection in the mirror. One day, she was involved in a terrible car accident, and her face was horribly disfigured. No one could bear to look at her. She couldn't even stand to look at herself. One day, when she accidentally caught a glimpse of her reflection in a mirror, she committed suicide. Mary Wales. Mary Wales was a young woman who was run over by a truck and killed while she was waiting on a street corner. Her face was horribly mangled in the accident. To summon her, you say, "I believe in you, Mary Wales." That one just sounds kind of silly. Elizabeth Bathory. Bathory. Another possible origin is the legend of Elizabeth Bathory. What was that? Oh, I think it's just a truck outside. Another possible origin is the legend of Elizabeth Bathory, a Hungarian noblewoman who lived from 1560 to 1614. She was also known as Countess Dracula, or the Bloody Countess. She is believed to have tortured and killed many young girls because she wanted to bathe in their blood. She believed it would preserve her youthful beauty. She killed more than 600 victims in all, using hot pokers, an iron maiden, pins, blades, and freezing water. Eventually, her crimes were exposed and she was walled up alive in her castle in Slovakia. Of course, her name was not Mary, but somehow the story of this cruel woman have been inserted into the legend. Oh, stories of this cruel woman. That's crazy. That woman is really awful. Jeez. Mary Weatherby. Mary Weatherby was a woman who was stabbed to death by her husband. They say that if you go into a dark room and say her name 3 times, her mutilated face will appear in the mirror and she will chase you with a bloody knife. Okay. Mary Lou. Mary Lou was a girl who lived in the USA in the 1950s. At her senior prom, she was crowned prom queen. Someone decided to play a trick on her and set off some firecrackers. Her dress caught fire, and Mary Lou was burned alive. Oh boy. Mary Johnson. Mary Johnson was a witch who was burned at the stake during the Salem witch trials. To summon her, everybody sits in a circle and holds hands. The room must be completely dark. You repeat together, "Come, Mary Johnson, come." A dim light will appear over the head of one person. Then what? That's all it says. Weird. Hail Mary. Hail Mary is a reversed illusion of Hail Mary. There is one legend that claims if you go into a dark room, look into the mirror, and chant Hail Mary 7 times, the mirror will run red with blood, and you will see the face of Satan. Svarta Madame. In Sweden, there is a version called Svarta Madame, Madam, Black Madame. She appears in the mirror if you say, "I don't believe in you, Svarta Madam," 12 times. She has black skin, green hair, red teeth, and glowing yellow eyes. Ew. Excuse me. Queen of Spades. The Queen of Spades, or Dama Pika, is the Russian version of Bloody Mary. Okay. Veronica. Veronica is the Spanish version of Bloody Mary. Excuse me. Ooh, that's a cool picture. Kuchisake Onna. The Japanese have their own version called Kuchisake One, or the Slit Mouth Woman. Candyman. The Candyman urban legend was inspired by Bloody Mary. How do you play Bloody Mary? What you need is 1 candle, a strong heart, and a big bathroom with a large mirror. Turn out the lights, place your candle down and light it. Stand and look in the mirror. Chant slowly, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, and see what happens. I hope you don't actually do this. That'd be scary. If nothing happens, try spinning around 3 times and then look in the mirror. You may catch a glimpse of her terrifying face. Or just your own face. Try it out if you dare, but don't blame me if you find yourself trapped in a ghostly netherworld with the ghost of Bloody Mary forever. There have also been a number of horror movies and TV shows based on the legend. Supernatural. That's a good show. I highly recommend it. Season 1, Episode 5 of Supernatural featured a young woman named Mary Worthington who lives in Indiana. When she was 19 years old, someone broke into her apartment and murdered her. The killer cut out her eyes with a knife, and she died in front of a large mirror. She tried to spell out her killer's name in blood, but only managed the letters T-R-E. A surgeon named Trevor Sampson was suspected, but nothing was ever proven, and her murder went unsolved. Her body was cremated, but her spirit was trapped in the mirror. Dead Mary. In this horror movie, a bunch of young people spend the weekend in a remote cabin in the woods. They decided to play a game called Dead Mary, in which they summon an evil witch by repeating her name 3 times in front of a mirror. Urban Legends 3, Bloody Mary. This movie features a young woman named Mary Banner who dies on prom night when a prank goes wrong and she gets locked in a chest. Her body was never found, and 35 years later, her ghost returns for revenge. Wahahaha. That's it. Wolf Girl said, actually, Bloody Mary was in fact Queen Mary of England, Queen Elizabeth I's sister. She was executed, but she got the name Bloody Mary because she caused the deaths of over about 30,000 people. Well, if Wolf Girl said it, you know it's true. Casane Tito on drugs says, I played Bloody Mary in 7th grade. I tried summoning her the common way. Chant her name 3 times, turn off the lights, etc. Although, when I turned off the lights, I was left alone in darkness. and I felt like I was daydreaming for a bit. When I came back, I felt like I was in a daze. Even so, I still lit the candle and closed the door. I can't really explain it, but something made me stop after the first chant. To be honest, I chickened out a little, but mustered up enough courage to say, ever so slowly, Bloody Mary. Then I began to feel very hot, and my head started pounding. I started panicking at how pale and lifeless I looked in the mirror. I'm not sure if this was a figment of my imagination, but I think I heard something slowly draw back the shower curtain. I managed to say the word bloody before I felt super queasy, and my skin felt more hot than ever. Suddenly, I felt a coldness wash over me. I still felt like vomiting, and my headache still lingered, but now I was freezing. Something compelled me to look at the shower curtain, which was now open, and I could see an ugly, naked figure lounging in the tub. I would describe it with charred, cracked skin, and the candle's light I could see glistening red under her throat and under her eyes. It then dragged itself out of the tub, deafeningly silent, and moving towards me, reminding me of the legends of Kashimo Raiko. I threw the candle down, only caring for my life, and started slamming myself against the door. I didn't bother using the knob because my hands were so sweaty. After a few hits, the door flew open, and I looked back at the figure, who had crawled back into the shower, its finger up to its lips as if saying, shh. It turns out that my twin sister had opened the door. She claimed she heard a thump, which must have been me flinging my candle away. Slowly, I told her about what I was doing. I never went into that bathroom alone again. 2 years after that encounter, we had to downgrade to an apartment. I'm never playing that game again. Believe me or not, I don't care. I just want you to know what might await you if you ever try to play that game at your own risk. Sorry this post was so long. I believe them. I would never play Bloody Mary. I think I did with my friends once, but it was scary. Nothing happened, but it could have. You don't know. Mona said, nice. These look really scary. I don't know what they are. Okay, well that was some of the stuff behind Bloody Mary in case you were wondering. That was kind of fun. There's many different variations. Oh, that's a scary picture. I don't like that one. That one's kind of scary too. But anyway, thank you so much for being here with me. This one was fun and spooky. Happy Spooktober, everyone. This has been Luna, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.